World of Warcraft is more appealing now than it has been in a long while. Season 4 of Shadowlands has made some great changes, and 10.0 and Dragonflight are just on the horizon. Wrath at the Lich King Classic is also drawing in the crowds. So you've decided you want to play World of Warcraft for the first time. Or maybe you're a previous player who wants to give WoW another go and doesn't know where to start. Well, I've got you covered. In this guide, I'm going to go over some helpful tips that I think every new player should know. I'm Erratic and I create content here on YouTube and over on TikTok and Instagram. I've been playing WoW for over 15 years and I stream 3 days a week on Twitch. I love World of Warcraft and I'm passionate about getting new players to play and enjoy the game. If you find this guide helpful, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I want to preface this guide by saying these are all suggestions and not things that I think you must do to enjoy the game. World of Warcraft is a massive game with tons of variety and there are so many different ways to play. There's something for literally every type of gamer in World of Warcraft. So let's get started. My first suggestion is going to be what I tell every new player to do, and that's to unbind your S key and rebind your A and D keys to strafe. This might feel weird at first, but it will give you a huge advantage when you get to competitive content like dungeons, raids, and PvP later on in the game. Again, this is just a suggestion and not required to play. I just like to help new players get in good habits from the get-go so they're not having to relearn anything later on. My second tip is going to be to mess around with the interface options. You're new to the game, so you're starting off with no gold. So turning on the auto loot function is one of the best things you can do and something I do on every new character of mine. It makes questing easier and you'll automatically pick up all the items that you can sell to vendors along the way. One of the second options I would have you look at is the nameplates. I would turn the nameplates of enemies to always show. I think this helps when you're looking for enemies to interact with when you're doing quests. Lastly, I would turn on raid style party frames. This is just a personal aesthetic preference of mine, but I think the raid style party frames look a lot better and give you more information. My third tip is going to be to use your keybinds and try not to click. As a first time player, clicking the abilities is just going to feel right. But as you move into more challenging content, using keybinds is almost going to be necessary. This is another suggestion that might take a little time to get used to, but I promise it will be worth it later on when you don't have to go from being a clicker to someone who uses their keybinds. That being said, there are plenty of people who still play the game using keybinds and are competitive at higher ends. So if you're just dead set on that being your playstyle, go for it. I mentioned earlier that there's something for everyone to do in World of Warcraft, and there is. Try out all different types of content. If you enjoy PvP or player versus player, try out some battlegrounds while you're leveling, or turn on war mode and fight with enemies while you're leveling up. If you're just playing WoW for the fantasy of dungeon crawling and defeating enemies, make sure you're using the LFG tool to level through dungeons. If you're an achievement hunter, man, are there some achievements for you to hunt. There's tons of collectionist content through transmog, mounts, and pets. And if pets are your thing, there are also pet battles. There are also many professions for you to learn and master. Now, this might not be the best tip for a brand new player, but I would really suggest learning about add-ons. If you would like a first good add-on to install, I would suggest Bagnon. This is my favorite add-on in the game and takes your bags from looking like this to like this. There's basically an add-on for anything you could want to do in the game. So if you're ever thinking, man, I wish there was an interface to help me with this, I would go and look and see if there's an add-on for it. So maybe you're getting into WoW and you just bought the new expansion and you see a level boost when you first log in. There can be a lot of temptation to just use that boost and hop right into the game. Do not do that. You learn so much about your class and about the game as a whole as you level up from 1 to 60. Level up your first character from scratch. It is 100% worth it and you'll be so much more prepared to play at max level. That brings us to our next tip. Enjoy the leveling process. You only get to be a new World of Warcraft player once, and man, I cannot tell you how much I would pay to go back and experience World of Warcraft as a first-time player. Explore the world, check out things that pique your interest, and just do what you enjoy while you're playing the game. So you've started your first character. You're liking how the game plays, but something feels a little off about the combat. Try out a new class, or maybe just a different spec. World of Warcraft does a great job of making every class and spec feel almost entirely different, and there's so many different playstyles. Try out a bunch of different classes until you find the one that's right for you. I promise, when you start playing it and it clicks, you'll know. One of the best things about any MMO is going to be the community. Finding a group of friends that you enjoy playing with will drastically change how much you enjoy the game as a whole. If you're a first-time player, use the Guild Finder tool to find a social guild. Even as a more competitive PvP player, I'm in a huge social guild where everyone just jokes and has a good time, and I love that part of the game. A good guild will help you level and be able to answer questions that you have along the way. My last suggestion will help when you're engaging in group content. As you're leveling up, whenever you join a new dungeon or maybe even PvP, mention to other players that you're new and that you'd appreciate any tips that they have along the way. I found that this will help people soften up a little bit and be more forgiving when you make mistakes. Just like any community, there can be a little bit of toxicity, but do your best to brush those people off. I do genuinely believe the WoW community as a whole is awesome. I'm hoping that if you made it this far, you're someone who's considering playing WoW for the first time, and I'm so glad that you are. If you're a current player and think I've missed some new player tips, please drop them down in the comments. Whether you're a new or a long-time player, please subscribe to my channel, and come check me out on Twitch. I'd love to answer any of your questions or just chat.